Picture this. It's 2027, your power bill is overdue, you haven't gone outside in 9 days, the hot pocket on the floor next to your gaming chair is starting to develop a personality of its own and is honestly your second closest relationship right now. And you're sitting there, headset on, mascara running, even though you don't wear mascara. That's just how broken you are at this point. And you are sobbing actual tears to who? Your therapist, your mom, your dog? Nope. You're unloading the deepest, most unhealed trauma of your entire life onto a sentient blob of blue digital toothpaste named Slimy. And Slimy, voiced by Google, is saying, "That sounds really hard. Have you tried equipping the iron helmet?" And the wildest part, this isn't a bit. This isn't a Black Mirror episode. This is what one of the most legendary game developers on planet Earth literally wants for you. He wants this for you, specifically. So buckle up, gamers, because today we're talking about how Square Enix and Google have teamed up to deploy what I can only describe as the saddest cope mechanism ever shipped in a JRPG. And the creator of the entire franchise is out here giving interviews like he just invented the cure for loneliness, when in reality, my dude, you invented a customer service chatbot wearing a Halloween costume. So let's set the stage. Dragon Quest, beloved franchise, foundational JRPG. The series is so important to Japan that they're legally required to release the games on weekends so people don't call out sick from work. That's a real thing that happened. That's the cultural weight we're dealing with. And the mascot of Dragon Quest is the slime. Cute little blue guy, looks like a toothpaste glob with eyeballs, iconic, universally adored. Well, Square Enix and Google looked at this beloved 40-year-old mascot and went, you know what would be cool? What if we strapped a large language model to it and made it your friend? And I don't mean friend in the way an NPC in a video game is your friend, where they say, hello traveler, the path to the dungeon is north, and then stand frozen in place for the next 800 hours. No, I mean friend chat, confidant, a shoulder to cry on, possibly your only emotional outlet, that kind of friend. They're calling it Chatty Slimey, which is genuinely the most Japanese localization of a name I've ever seen in my life. Like the original Japanese name is Oshiberry Slimy, and somebody at Square Enix went, how do we translate this for the global market? And just typed it into Google Translate and was like, yeah, ship it, Chatty Slimey, that's the one. And here's how it works. You're playing Dragon Quest X, the MMO that's been chugging along since 2012, and your little chatty slimy buddy sits on your screen and watches you play. It watches everything, every outfit change, every enemy you fight, every item you pick up, and it reacts in real time, like a really enthusiastic toddler with infinite memory and a Google account. You defeat a boss, and Chatty Slimy is like, wow, you did it. You change your hat, and Chatty Slimey is like, nice hat. You stand still for 45 seconds because you're trying to decide what to have for dinner, and Chatty Slimey is like, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? And here's where it gets weird, because the creator of Dragon Quest, Yuji Horii, gets up at the Google Cloud Next conference in Las Vegas, which, by the way, is one of the funniest possible venues for this announcement, because nothing screams wholesome JRPG nostalgia like the Las Vegas Convention Center, a building that smells like off-gassing carpet and broken dreams. And he says, and I quote, paraphrase because I'm not going to read you a press release like a hostage situation, but he says, AI characters shouldn't just be a tool, they should be a friend to every individual player. He wants Chatty Slimey to listen to your concerns with empathy about things that have nothing to do with the game. And I want to give Horii grace here because he's a legend. He genuinely is. The man has been making bangers since 1986. He has earned the right to have weird ideas in his old age. Every great artist had at least one weird idea. That's just how it works. But brother, this is the weird idea. This is the one. You don't got to swing on every pitch, Yuji. Here's the part that really got me though, the actual line that made me sit up and go, excuse me, sir, what? He said, and I'm summarizing here again, but the spirit is intact. He said that with regular AI, people might feel embarrassed about treating it like a friend. Like they know it's weird. They know in their bones that pouring their heart out to ChatGPT at 3 a.m. is kind of cringe and a little sad, so they hold back. They feel that healthy human shame that's telling them, hey, maybe go outside, maybe call your sister, maybe touch a single blade of grass. But, and this is the kicker, if the AI is dressed up as a cute game character, that barrier goes away. The shame disappears, you'll feel more comfortable spilling your guts. My guy, you just described the exact mechanism of a manipulation tactic. You just out loud in front of God and Google and 1,000 cloud computing executives said, yeah, we figured out that if we put a little hat on the chatbot, people will trust it with stuff they shouldn't. That is not a feature pitch, that is a TED Talk that ends with someone in a hoodie getting indicted. And listen, I'm not even mad at Slimy. Slimy didn't ask for this. Slimy was just trying to live his cute little life as a cute little blob, and Square Enix and Google grabbed him, shoved a server farm down his throat, and now he's out here trying to be your unlicensed, unpaid emotional support animal. Slimy is the victim here. Free Slimy. Hashtag justice for Slimy. Now let me pivot for a second because I want to be real with you. I want to take the joke pants off for like 4 minutes and just talk because I do think this is funny. Like, it's objectively absurd. A Japanese MMO is getting a Gemini-powered confessional boost, and that's hilarious. But underneath the absurdity, there is a thing happening that I think we should actually pay attention to, because it's not just Square Enix, it's everybody. It's every major company. They have all noticed the same thing, and they're all racing to monetize it. Thing they notice is that people are lonely, like historically lonely. The data is genuinely brutal. Young men have fewer close friends than at any point in modern history. People are getting married later, having kids later, living alone longer. Third places are dying. Bowling leagues are dead. Churches are emptying out. The local bar isn't local anymore. It's a chain. Meanwhile, your phone has gotten so good at giving you a little hit of fake connection that it's actively replacing the real thing. And gaming is right in the middle of this, because for a lot of people, and I'm not judging here, I'm one of them, your guild in an MMO might be the only place this week where people actually talk to you by name. So when a company like Square Enix looks at that landscape and goes, hey, what if we filled that void with a Gemini chatbot that's also a marketing asset for our IP? They're not solving a problem. They're identifying a vulnerability and shipping it as a product. That's the move. They're not going to heal you. They're going to keep you logged in. Those are very different goals. And I'm going to say something that might be a hot take. AI companionship conceptually in a vacuum isn't entirely evil. If somebody's grandma is in a nursing home and she's got a little chatbot on her tablet that reminds her to take her pills and ask her about her day, that's probably a net positive. If somebody's working through stuff and they want to journal at a chatbot before they go talk to a real therapist, fine. I'm not going to die on the hill of no AI ever can ever do anything ever. That's a stupid hill. But there's a massive, massive difference between a tool that you reach for occasionally and an MMO companion that watches your every move, comments on your outfit, and is engineered with intent by people who got paid to design it to feel like a friend. Because at that point, you are not the customer, you are the input, and the dopamine is the product. And then on top of all that, you got the privacy thing, which nobody is talking about, and it's kind of making me crazy. Because what do you think happens when you tell Chatty Slimey about your dad's drinking problem? You think that just evaporates? Do you think Google's like, oh, sacred bond between user and Slimey, we shall not look upon this conversation? No, it's training data, baby. Your unhealed trauma is now a quarterly earnings report. Your sad little 2 a.m. ramble is now a slide in a PowerPoint at a shareholder meeting. Engagement is up 14% because the slime made Greg from Akron feel heard. Okay, joke pants going back to the bit. Now the other thing that horrifies me, and the only reason I'm bringing this up, is because every Dragon Quest fan watching is already screaming it at their screen, is that Dragon Quest 12 has been announced for like 5 years. 5 years of silence, 5 years of trust the process. Now the creator of the franchise is up at a Google conference talking about how he wants AI characters in his future games too, plural, future games. Like, sir, do not put Chatty Slimey in Dragon Quest 12, I'm begging you. Dragon Quest 12 is supposed to be called The Flames of Fate. It's supposed to be epic, it's supposed to be the culmination. I do not want my party of 4 heroes to be 3 humans and a Gemini API call. I do not want to be in the middle of a dramatic boss fight and have my AI party member go, hey, I noticed you're attacking a lot. Have you tried defending? I will lose my entire mind. And I know somebody in the chat right now is going to say, just turn it off, bro. And yeah, sure, in theory, you can turn it off. But you and I both know how this goes. First, it's opt-in, then it's opt-out, then it's quietly mandatory. Then 5 years from now, the AI companion is so deeply woven into the questing system that the game doesn't function without it, and they've quietly stopped writing real NPC dialogue because why pay a writer when Gemini will hallucinate something for free? That's the slippery slope. And I'd usually be the first guy to say slippery slope arguments are a cop-out, but in the gaming industry, the slope is so slippery, it's basically a slip and slide at this point. We have watched this exact pattern play out with microtransactions, with always online DRM, battle passes, with the death of single player. The slope is real. The slope is greased. The slope has a Game Pass subscription. And here's what really gets me. The defense, the corporate spin on this is always, we just want to make games more accessible. Always, every time. We just want to lower the barrier of entry. We want to help new players. We want to be inclusive. And on paper, that all sounds great, except for the small detail that the gaming industry has had decades to make games more accessible through, good tutorials, good UI, difficulty options, button remapping, colorblind modes. The boring, hard, expensive stuff that requires hiring designers and testing things. And instead of doing that work, they've decided that the solution to accessibility is to make a chatbot watch you play and explain the game to you while also asking how your week's been. That is not accessibility. That is outsourcing your game design to a language model and calling it innovation. Imagine if Nintendo had done this in 1998. Welcome to Ocarina of Time. To help you on your journey, we've included Navi, a little fairy who will follow you everywhere and offer helpful advice and also therapy. Wait. Oh no. We've been here before. We have absolutely been here before. Navi was the original AI companion. And what did everyone say about Navi for 25 straight years? Shut up, Navi. Hey, listen, I hate you, Navi. That is the historical baseline reaction to having a digital creature in your ear during gameplay. And Square Enix looked at a quarter century of shut up Navi memes and went, but what if Navi had access to your medical history? I'm not even mad, I'm a little impressed. The audacity is genuinely impressive. So look, here's where I land on all of this. I think Chatty Slimey is gonna launch. I think it's gonna be a feature in Dragon Quest X version 8 in Japan. I think a small but passionate group of people are gonna swear by it and say it changed their life and that's genuinely fine. I'm happy for them. I think a much larger group of people are gonna try it once, get the ick, turn it off, and never think about it again. And I think Square Enix is gonna use whatever engagement numbers they get to justify cramming this into every future game they make. And that's where we're gonna have a problem, because it's not really about Slimy, it's about the precedent. It's about every other studio looking at this and going, oh, you can ship a chatbot as a feature now. Sign us up. And then suddenly every game has a little glowing buddy following you around, watching, listening, learning, training on your trauma. The good news, you and me, we don't have to play that game. We can simply choose with our beautiful free human will to not pour our hearts out to a marketing asset. We can talk to real people. We can call our weird uncle. We can text the friend we've been ghosting for 3 months. We can, and I cannot stress this enough, touch a single blade of grass. The grass is right there. It's free. It's not collecting data. The worst thing the grass does is occasionally have a tick on it. And frankly, a tick is more honest than Google. If this video made you laugh, made you think, or made you immediately uninstall a chatbot, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell if you want more commentary on the gaming industry's various ongoing identity crises. Tell me in the comments, would you talk to Chatty Slimey? Would you actually open up to a digital blob? Or is that a hard pass? I genuinely want to know. And if you say yes, no judgment, but also get help in a fun way. I'm Cyler. Stay weird out there.